Is the honeymoon over already for the WAC and the Texas schools in the newly developed league? Is Tarleton bullying its counterparts? Rob Butler will explain all that and more on this week's edition of Sports Report Saturday. We'll take a quick break and we'll jump right into this weekend's episode of Sports Report Saturday. The Open Mic Broadcast Network would like to take this time to recognize its sponsors and underwriters: Attorney Lee Van Richardson, Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, Prairie View Athletic Club, Temple of Refuge Ministries, Reflections Paint and Body Shop, Helping Hands Lawn Service, the Hotline Press newspaper of Hempstead, Texas, Diva Skin Conditioner, Purple Drip Daiquiri and Grill. For more information on how you can become an underwriter or a sponsor here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, our number to call is 832-213-8824. Serving the community through faith and athletics. The Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas. The station designed with you in mind. Serving the community through faith and athletics. The Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas. You're looking to expand your business or services? Let the Open Mic Broadcast Network help lead the way. With our customized campaigns, we are definitely able to reach your target audience. For more information, dial 832-213-8824. The Open Mic Broadcast Network, serving the community through faith and athletics. The voice of student athletics.
Chris, can you put the video game controller down for a second?
I can talk and play. Oh, I'm totally annihilating this punk kid in Nebraska.
I just feel like you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
Well, you still ride your skateboard to work, there's the comic book collection, the race car bed.
Look, I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I picked up a few savings tips at feedthepig.org. I have control over my financial life now, and that feels pretty grown up.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. For free ideas and easy tips on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
So, I bet I look like a grown-up to you now.
Well, except for the footy pajamas, I'd have to agree.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Broadcasters come into our lives on radio and TV, bringing us information and entertainment. Broadcasters are there for us, but who is there for them when they fall on hard times? The Broadcasters Foundation of America provides financial assistance to broadcasters in acute need due to a critical illness, accident, or other serious misfortune. If you know of a broadcaster on the air or behind the scenes who may need our help, please share our message. Visit broadcastersfoundation.org.
This is Rob Butler with a little FCS football news. I'm going to start with the WAC. Now, this article comes from the website collegead.com. I'm going to summarize the main points. Sources say the new look WAC is taking on a life of its own, including what's been dubbed to us as an ouster at the top. Is it an overthrow, toppling? One thing is certain. A lot is happening behind the scenes in the Western Athletic Conference right now, and sources say the Texas schools are grabbing the bull by the horns by dragging down the WAC's own leadership. Let us set the scene. In January, Commissioner Jeff Hurd announced that the conference would be expanding and adding 5 new universities to its ranks. For the additions, Abilene Christian, Lamar, Sam Houston, and SFA came from the Southland Conference and are based in Texas. These changes mean that 6 out of 13 schools in the WAC are in the Lone Star State. Then, in July, Hurd abruptly announced his resignation after 37 years with the WAC and 10 years leading it. Conference leaders sang praises. Hurd expressed sadness, but nowhere in the conference's press release does it state if he is retiring, what his next move is, or the reason he is stepping down. A lack of details in a change like this is typical, but there have been some large holes in the story. Our sources have been trying to fill in the gaps for us, and they say that Texas schools have something to do with it. Quote, "We have such a juicy situation going on in the WAC," close quote, one source told College AD. Quote, "The executive committee fired Hurd on the spot in a meeting, and Tarleton State is a major part of that. Tarleton is in control of the whole league right now, the whole thing. Tarleton is running that's a four-letter word, close quote. So from one account, the commissioner was fired in a dramatic fashion, but in cross-referencing this description with others, we found another potential story. Quote, he wasn't fired, he was asked to retire, close quote, another source says, but adding, quote, Tarleton is leading the charge on all this, close quote. So the specifics aren't clearly defined, but the premise remains true. Hurd was ousted from his commissionership. But also, how did Tarleton get all this juice, and what's next? Quote, they're on the executive committee this year. The president is, close quote, another source says. Quote, they're trying to play a large role in shaping the league, close quote. Wild indeed, but now with the floodgates open and the leader out, sources speculate that the power seizure will continue. Sources tell us they would not be surprised if the next commissioner comes from within the Texas AD ranks. Quote, I think the Texas schools saw an opportunity not to help the WAC or not be a part of the WAC or anything. I think they want to change the league, close quote, a source says. Quote, they saw an opportunity to make it their own. They were unilaterally aligned and having discussions that the commissioner was not privy to, close quote. With the league having officially started the process to find Hurd's replacement, we'll keep tracking the story. Now I want to talk about the McNeese Cowboys. The Cowboys showed potential in their first scrimmage. Only family and friends were invited as McNeese moved from the practice field to the stadium turf Saturday. For almost 2 hours, the Cowboys battled each other and the Heat during a 62-play scrimmage that had enough big plays for everybody. The offense showed promise, the defense dominated, but those weren't spurts. That's probably a good thing early since you don't want one side making all the plays. As the Cowboys battled each other, here are 5 things we learned. There were 6, but we already knew any noon start in August is hot, so we'll skip that. Number 1, Isaiah Chambers and the defensive line is good. So I guess we knew that going in, but Chambers' 3 sacks coming in one series showed he is perhaps the best defensive force in the FCS football. He is at the very least on the short list. And the rest, there are groups that can dominate at times, which might be the difference in a league loaded with offense. Number 2, Walker Wood can be a force. The backup quarterback will do anything to get on the field, including playing wide receiver. His 4 catches for 65 yards show his moving around isn't just for show. Wood could be a solid addition to a group that is looking forward to a breakout this fall. He also is a great insurance policy at quarterback if anything happens to the starter, Cody Orgeron. Number 3, Frank Wilson was right. The head coach has been talking for a month now how the Cowboys are bigger, stronger, faster. It's a small sample size, but on Saturday they were. Most importantly, the Cowboys look like a team that is much more athletic than before. The big question, of course, is are the Cowboys better? That we will find out in the weeks to come. Number 4, wide receiver C.J. Powell is good. The transfer from Louisiana Tech was all the talk in the spring, even if he could not play. He lit up the practice field during workouts. Saturday, he did the same inside Cowboy Stadium. He caught a pair of touchdown passes and was open most of the afternoon. He did, however, drop a pass early in the scrimmage, but his speed is a difference maker. And number 5, McNeese has chemistry. Despite the heat, which seemed to be burning the rubber portion of the turf, this team seemed to have fun and enjoy each other. Even the offensive line got into the fun of things after the first touchdown, working some type of rowing exercise in the back of the end zone. That has not always been the case the last few years. None of this is a guarantee of a great fall, nor are all the first impressions lasting. Still, it was something noticeable during the first scrimmage. And finally, I want to talk about Sam Houston. The Bearcats are ranked number 1 in the preseason poll. The defending FCS national champions will start the year on top as expected. Sam Houston is the team to beat, returning its entire starting lineup from a spring season in which it went a perfect 10-0 and captured the FCS title for the first time. On Monday, the Bearcats gained 39 of the 50 first-place votes while being selected number 1 in the Stats Perform FCS preseason top 25. It is the second time in school history the Cats have been ranked number 1 in the nation entering the season, with the last time coming in the initial poll of the 2012 season. The Bearcats are led by ASU head coach Casey Keeler, the first coach to lead 2 different schools to the FCS title. He first won one at Delaware in 2003. Now the FCS seeks a return to normalcy this fall after the pandemic delayed much of the 2020 season to this past spring, with some schools not playing at all. A normal FCS season means the usual power programs are in national title contention. Right behind Sam Houston in the national media poll were the final 3 teams it beat in the playoffs. That's semifinalist James Madison, runner-up South Dakota State, and quarterfinalist North Dakota State. Delaware, a semifinalist for the first time since it played in the 2010 championship game under Keeler, was 5th in the voting. Now, a national media panel selects the Stats Perform SCS Top 25. Here's some other notable programs. 10, Jacksonville State. 14, Central Arkansas. 15, Southeastern Louisiana. And number 22, Nichols. And that's Rob Butler, Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Have sports, we'll travel. The Open Mic Broadcast Network serving student athletes from Little League, high school, and collegiate coverage right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. From coast to coast, from dusk till dawn. You can catch all student athletic action right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the station designed with you in mind. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the voice of student athletics.
And that is going to wrap up this week's edition of Sports Report Saturday. Be sure to join us each and every Saturday here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, as well as other daily programming here throughout the network. The Mike Prince Show podcast, Monday through Fridays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Of course, you can join us here for Sports Report Saturdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And Sunday Night Live edition of the Mike Prince Show, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Be sure to visit the website at obnradio.com for other programming offered throughout the network. As for right now, we'll exit stage left. Thank you guys for joining us on this weekend edition. And until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.